I don't know about their offense yet. We really haven't gotten into that, but I feel the guys are ready, prepared mentally. Obviously, they got camp legs right now, so we're going to have to get those camp legs back. If we had to go play tomorrow and they had the same camp legs, I'd feel confident.
And has there been one group out there on the defense that has maybe stuck out a little bit more than others?
No, they've all done pretty well, and they've all been pushing each other. Like I mentioned earlier, that it's the camp. They got pushed through the campaign now, so it's a little sluggish. Not where you always want it, but you got it. As coaches, we try to push them, and there's really been good leadership throughout all the groups, DBs, D-line, linebackers, to keep pushing each other through this. So I'm real happy with our leadership.
And what about a player or two that have maybe stuck out from fall camp, or somebody you've seen where you knew they had it in them and it's just kind of starting to click as he gone through camp?
I think Keys is one of the guys that has really stood out in terms of taking over leadership. Bromley has been a leadership. When I came in here, they told me Bromley's been a leader. But Keys really took it to the next level in terms of leadership. And our corners, Richard and Peon, have taken their level up from what I didn't know them last year, but from what they had last year, they said they really pumped up their leadership abilities.
You saw Coach Shafer get pretty fired up during special teams period today. What have you kind of learned about him as a head coach? I mean, you've seen him as a coordinator. What have you learned about him these past few months? And you know him for a while, too.
Coach Shafer's the same as when he was a coordinator. He's a fiery guy. You just got to know that. And the players understand that's lucky that they had him before. It's not a new head coach that they have no idea who he is. They know he's a fiery guy, and if it's not right, he's going to let them know, which is the right thing to do. I believe in the same thing. That's why me and Coach Shafer get along, so our philosophy is so alike.
Obviously, you mentioned that you've known him for a while. Yeah. As a football guy, do you like to see that, even if the player makes a mistake, knowing that the coach is going to hold him accountable?
Oh yeah, definitely. But the position coaches and the coordinators are responsible, so they're getting it from every angle. Mm-hmm. So the key is right now, as I mentioned, is to keep on them and keep pushing them, because we know they're tired and we know they got their legs. So we got to really step up our pushing them to push through this pain, because then we'll rest them right before we get to Penn State.
Talking about Keys, when he's before the snap, how aware is he? How knowledgeable is he? Is he the kind of guy who will maybe tap a defensive tackle and say, hey, this is the blocking scheme, or is he kind of at that point?
Yes, very, very sharp. Has to set the front. So the defensive line isn't lined up right. He's got to get him right. He has to give stunting games to him. He has to tell him where to move by formations and all that. He's got to make calls for blitzes and all that stuff. So he's very sharp. Since I've been here, I've never had him just freeze and he couldn't make a call. He's always been pretty right on with all his calls.
And what does it say, just the respect from the team for him to pretty much get a unanimous vote after the incident in December?
Obviously, I wasn't here in December, but since I've known him, he's been pleasant. In terms of off the field. On the field, he's not pleasant, which is I like. But off the field, he's just been a great young man and talks to him, great conversation. And I'm just fortunate to be able to coach him. Mm-hmm. We have him on our defense.
Mm-hmm. The linebackers seem pretty eager. Even in like the walkthroughs and stuff, have you seen that intensity? It seemed today. I think Dyson knocked over Pat when they played quarterback. They seem like they're going full.
Coach Burles got up pretty quick, didn't
he?
I told him, I said that was pretty good. You got up pretty quick. Yeah, no, they're intense. They feel it's coming. You can feel the game's coming now. Even though they're tired, they can feel it's right on the horizon. So their intensity is going to start amping up every day now.
Sure. And just how important is getting a decent push up front from the defensive line, and even just not letting guys through to allow those linebackers, all of whom are pretty good playmakers, to make those plays?
Yeah, we always talk about do your job. So if D-lineman has a gap, linebacker has a gap, do your job. Be where you're supposed to be. D-line don't try to jump out and make a linebacker don't try to jump out and make a DB's gap. Whatever the gap is, whatever your assignment is, you just do your job and we'll be fine for the defensive side.
Mm-hmm. And just how have you seen Dyson kind of improve his coverage a little bit? I know he's been working on footwork, coming out of the breaks with receivers and just kind of be able to stick with them a little bit.
Every year you get to play. So he played last year. The year before, I guess he was only in a limited package, my understanding. So he got a full year of playing, and then you'll grow. And then next year he'll even grow more. The more you play, the better you get. And I thought he's done a great job of trying to take the footwork stuff and all the linebacker drills of controlling your body, and he's really worked on it. It's really showing on the field.
Great.
What would you say is the image of Syracuse football right now, if you had to kind of characterize it?
Our trademark is toughness. That's what we talk about all the time. That's mental toughness and physical toughness. And the mental toughness is, these are great days to be able to emphasize it because they're tired and their legs are rich. So the mental, you've got to be able to push throughout there. So that's what we always stress as a coaching staff.
So have you seen that manifested these first 2 weeks of practice?
Yes. Okay. Yep. It was just like spring ball. Same thing as spring ball. The first week was, they were trying to learn some new stuff. Second week, then by the end of the spring ball, they were now just not thinking anymore and just going. Same thing, because we can't coach them in the summer. came in the first week thinking, we're not sure of stuff. Now we're locking in, we're not installing anything else. Now they can play fast and just go. They see it and go instead of see it and think and then go.
Chuck, coming off of Fort Drum, have you seen a change in these guys? Have you seen more leadership or more accountability that's come up?
No, I think it's the same as Fort Drum. I think personality-wise, I think they reflect more, because I'm probably talking about me, listening to stories from those young men that go and they're going to go off and fight in war, and you're out here on the field and you feel tired, but think about that guy carrying 20 pounds on his and he's getting shot at. So we always tell the young guys, the people in the Army that are fighting are young for a reason. It's because they can run and they can recover, and they got a lot of energy. Where you get an old man like me, I'll be done after the first battle. So that's what we try to get to them is, hey, these guys are out there doing it because they're young. You're young. You should be able to push through practices that way. So we really took that and tried to incorporate it into our thought process.
With the offense being kind of question marks there, how important is it for your defense to kind of, with their experience, to be the leaders and go out there against Penn State and kind of set the tone?
Oh, we have a saying. This is stay in your own lane. We can't worry about our offense. They can't worry about their defense. We just got to stay in our lane and make sure. That's Coach Shafer's job, to worry about offense, defense, special teams. As the defensive coaches, we just got to worry about ourselves and make sure our guys are picking up. If it's too much, we got to throw stuff out. If we need something else and they can handle it, we can put something in. But for us, it's just really, we call it stay in your own lane. Just worry about your job and let the head coach worry about all those other things.